Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to another video. Today we're going to be casting a 1v1 match, a 2v2 match, and a 3v3 match from oKhaliD's recent ranked gameplay to commemorate his achievement on getting number 1 in every single ranked leaderboard at the same time. He's actually been rank 1 on all these leaderboards for a while now. I felt like it would be one of those 1 or 2 day things because usually whenever somebody does this, they immediately get overtaken in one of the leaderboards. It's pretty hard to keep them all at the same time, but it looks like he's even extended the lead in a few of them. So, I mean, I don't know how he does it. oKhaliD is one of a kind. But yeah, I figured it would be a good idea to take a look at some of his recent ranked gameplay in all 3 playlists, because I know for 3v3 and 2v2 especially, we don't get a look at much of his gameplay, at least not compared to 1v1. So let's get into that. So let's start off with 3v3, but there's a couple of interesting things about this replay before we even get started. So first thing, let's wait for everybody to load in. Here they are. We've got oKhaliD playing with Brisky and False, who are 2 players who actually played in one of the RLCSX qualifiers recently with Kronovi. They made the RLCSX regional event. I forget which one it was. And they're going up against Delta and Beastabonium, who are 2 top 10 RLCSX level players in America. Those guys are both in a top 10 team. Loco, alongside Andy, who carried me in the Knights Winter Bash 2v2 tournament, so very, very high level players. And Zoni, who is a high ranked player in America. I'm not actually familiar with him. But on top of that, we've also got the fact that somehow False and Brisky are both using the exact same car design as oKhaliD. I don't know how this happened, but yeah, they all have Cristianos and they all have the exact same colored Fennec. And, you know, it would be fair enough. It wouldn't be the craziest thing in the world if they were all queued up together, but actually oKhaliD is solo queuing on NA server here with 200 ping. So let's see how it goes. They're all in the same car. No idea. If somebody knows how this happened, please do let me know. The only thing I can think of is that maybe oKhaliD had been queuing a few games and False and Brisky decided to copy his car. It's very unlikely that, I mean, maybe the other way around. Maybe oKhaliD saw their car and thought, that's pretty cool, I'm going to copy it. But yeah, they definitely look like a pretty solid team here. Now, False, for those of you who are not aware, is actually a Mexican player. He's one of the first Mexican players to play in RLCSX NA. He was in a full Mexican team before teaming with Brisky and Kronovi. Oh, that's a nice shot by oKhaliD on the infield pass. Scoops it in with the air roll to the very top corner of the net, and already a couple of goals ahead in 3s. I mean, who cares? 200 ping, no big deal, apparently. That's just normal for oKhaliD. The things to remember when you're playing with this kind of connection is that 50-50s are not what they seem, and slight plays where you're beating the opponent to the ball are also not what they seem. So right there, we actually saw just a few moments ago, oKhaliD tried to chip the ball past the defender. It may have looked like he was getting it cleanly past them on his screen, but I'm sure he's also aware that, you know, because he's playing with such a high ping connection, the other player is probably touching it, even if it looks like they're not. And 50-50s, if it looks like you're getting a 50-50 with this kind of connection, you're probably getting beaten to the ball. So you always have to try and stay one step ahead. It's very, very difficult though, because yeah, the ball will be pinging back and forth in the actual game here. It doesn't do that in the replay, but in the actual game it will be banding a little bit. And yeah, you can definitely play around that. I feel like to 80 or so ping it's very playable, but yeah, I don't know. 200 ping, that's a different story. I've tried this a few times myself. It is incredibly difficult to keep up. But still doing pretty good here. There's been a couple of defensive mistakes, very awkward positioning on the back wall, but Brisky and False holding it down while oKhaliD tries to get back in position. And you'll notice that a lot of his 3v3 gameplay is revolved around fake challenges, strong 50-50s, and well, you'll especially see stronger 50-50s in his EU server games. Probably shouldn't have taken that boost there. I think that was maybe worth leaving for Brisky, who's rotating back empty. But oKhaliD wanted it. He wanted to go from 30 to 100. And when oKhaliD wants a boost, you give it to him. It is his. Yeah, all about safe touches in 3s. Never giving away possession for free. Always at least getting a 50-50 on the end of every possession play. That's something you can watch out for with a lot of high-level players, but especially the more defensively minded high-level players. They will prioritize 50-50s in defense more than outplays, because trying to go for outplays in defense can be very risky in 3v3. It can actually end up getting you in a lot of trouble a lot of the time. So if you get dunked on, your teammates will be in a really rough position. But so far it's been quite comfortable for blue team here. Another beautiful ground shot from oKhaliD, sneaking past the defender on the side that they really were not expecting him to be shooting in. That's a bit of a weird kickoff as False and khalid both end up going to the same side. It's the standard side to be going for the boost on. Maybe khalid thought False would cheat up the middle in that kickoff. That is something you'll always want to do, is make sure if you are grabbing corner boost in 3v3, do it in the corner behind the player who's doing the kickoff from the diagonal position. You never want to take the boost on the side of the field they're going to be most likely landing on. You sometimes end up boost starving them. But more wide rotations here from khalid, just trying to stay as far back as possible so that no hard clears or 50-50s can catch him off guard. Always clearing the ball to the side, never clearing it straight down the middle where easy dunks and interceptions are going to come back in. And yeah, here a bit of a confusion. I believe khalid thought Brisky was going to hit this. Brisky wanted to leave it for khalid, but it's very hard to do that when you're not in comms together. Brisky didn't make it clear that he was leaving that ball. One way that you can actually make it clear to your teammate who's third man that you're planning to leave the ball is to communicate by flipping. A flip tells your teammates and it also tells your opponents what you're going to do next, because they can see clearly, okay, well, my teammate there just flipped, so he's clearly not going for the ball. And that means I can go for it freely. So that would have made a lot of sense. 4-0 here, comfortable win, even with the ping disadvantage. You know, a real good start here with strong aggressive play from False, followed up by a couple of ground shots from khalid. Just completely too high level for reactive goalkeeping to respond to. And that is how you win 3v3 with 200 ping. It's just one of the things you have to do when you're going for rank 1, because the EU server is a bit quieter, especially late night. Someone khalid's rank is not going to get a game on EU server. You got to QNA and just take the ping disadvantage, because otherwise you're going to be sitting in a queue for upwards of 30 minutes. 40 minutes is pretty normal for guys at the very highest rank. Alright, let's get into 2v2. It's khalid and MJ. He's a player I'm not too familiar with myself. I have seen the name a few times on various EU player streams, but I don't know much about his play. And it's up against Monkeyman and Louis P here, so they're two players that we're very familiar with. Luis I should say, is a very high level ones player coming out of Spain, and Monkeyman might just be the best 3v3 player in the world at the moment. Definitely is, in my opinion, up there with the very best. But in 2v2, he's also extremely well known. The French scene for 2v2 is well renowned all around the world. Oh dear, that's not the best defensive play by Monkeyman and Luis. Clear straight down the middle, always going to be a danger of being punished. khalid sends it back in an awkward position. Probably didn't expect to get a goal though. It's a very good save by khalid, getting good distance on the clear, give himself a bit more time. But oh, he needs a bit of help here though, and MJ is there. It's great covering by MJ in defense to make sure that there won't be any open nets. A lot of players would have left the goal to go grab boost in that position, but MJ knew better than to do so. That's another great touch in defense by khalid, setting himself up for the counter-attack down the middle. Monkeyman's out of the game. It's just khalid versus Luis here, and khalid's missed the rebound, but in comes MJ, and he has perfectly scooped this one into the top corner. Very nice finish by him. All eyes were on khalid's rebound. It was such a massive threat, and they did not have the follow-up from MJ covered at all. But yeah, khalid's 2 style is extremely safe. Again, just like I mentioned in 3v3, we're going to see a lot of fake challenges and 50-50s from him. We're going to see fast recoveries prioritized almost every single position. And ground plays are the priority. Definitely not the only thing that we're going to see from khalid, though. You know, whenever there is an opportunity to go for an uncontested aerial play, he'll go for it. But he doesn't like taking things like 50-50s in the air, because your recovery out of an aerial 50-50 is nowhere near as fast as a ground-based 50-50. A 50-50 you can just wave dash or jump into while saving a flip. Wave dash out of, I should say. Oh dear, that's pretty scary. The perfect bounce dribble once again, and you don't save those. That's actually an FF already, oh my goodness. Well, Luis and Monkeyman can't have been feeling too confident. I thought this one was going to go on for a bit longer than that. But let's take a look at the bounce dribble from Luis's POV. It was a pretty scary one. Luis committing to the corner extremely heavily here. Monkeyman likewise, and that really leaves him so open for the counterattack. And it was Monkeyman in goal as well, who just did not have a chance. But yeah, they're both so far up. Let's rewind a bit longer actually, because we need to see what Monkeyman is doing here. Yeah, it's just far too risky. 50-50s in the offensive corner like this don't often lead to goals, and counterattacks are just too hard to stop. when you're up against a bounce dribbler or khaled's level. So that's a very fast game. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't realize that this was an early FF. I thought it was going to go on a bit longer, but that is just the level of domination on show here. Maybe Monkey Moon and Luis just didn't feel like they had the best synergy, and they wanted to go next. But that's RIP points for them, as khaledD climbed towards that number 1. And finally, we have khaledD versus Icy. I believe the first time that I've been F-casted an Icy game. This is a replay, the most recent actual one's replay from khaledD just a couple days ago. And yeah, we already know his win rate in ones is pretty absurd. The 2s and 3s win rate's not quite as high, and I don't think they are for any of the top level players, because you are less of a percentage of the players in the lobby, of course, so you can't really have as big of an impact. When it comes to ones, yeah, khaledD's win rate is pretty insane. All the top guys have got 90 upwards, 90% plus win rate whenever they face players who are not in the top 10 like themselves. You're not likely to be winning a lot of points. Okay, so khaledD decides to go for a chip into the offensive corner as a counter for the half-flip kickoff. It seems to have worked out here, but that is not the traditional strategy at all. Most people will go for the possession play. Maybe khaledD didn't notice it was the half-flip kickoff until he was too close to the ball, too committed to hitting it in a straight line, and decided to just chip it awkwardly into the corner behind Icy, who's really struggling to get any kind of offensive pressure going here. And this is a chance for him to make something happen, but the ball's not sitting too nicely for him. Nice fake off the wall and sets up a potential demo on the back wall. Misses it. khaledD's always going to be aware of that potential threat. Delayed flick from khaledD, 3-0. And you just cannot give him this much space with the bounce dribble. No pressure on him. And Icy is down by 3 inside a minute. It's a hard enough prospect to go up against khaledD from a 0-0 score. Never mind what we're now at. A good placement. khaledD just goes for the bottom left corner. Icy must have been expecting a top right shot there. It was far more open towards the right hand side of the goal. khaledD just decides to single jump and place that one. If he realized at any moment there the ball is hitting the post, he could of course use his flip to half flip away from the ball. And that's just too good of a challenge. Icy not quick enough, and he's been dunked on. And look at that scoreline, 5-0 in just over a minute. Doesn't look like it's going to be getting any better for Icy anytime soon. And to make matters worse, khaledD's won another kickoff. He's feeling confident as well. Goes for the ceiling play. Icy with a good challenge though. That's a very nice challenge by Icy, getting up early to deny khaledD the slow play that I'm sure he wanted. But by committing for that challenge, Icy's boost starved himself. It's one of the unfortunate drawbacks of throwing yourself out towards the midfield in a ceiling challenge. So you're going to land on a wall much later than your opponent will. khaledD off the ceiling of his own net and into a counter-attack. Great recovery by Icy as well here. This is a good little passage of midfield play for him. He's keeping khaledD at a deadlock for now. This has included a couple of great defensive plays. That's also a very smart play. Icy not committing to the dodge on that challenge. Instead, going for another demo. Fakes khaledD off the ball here. Best chance of the game for Icy. Mind games khaledD, but khaledD stays low and it's not going to work out for him. Great re-grab on the boost there. khaledD sees another early ceiling challenge, puts it over this one and into the net. And Icy, despite really holding on there for a long time, he did well. Multiple successful challenges in the ceiling, on the ground. khaledD was able to adapt. Now he's going to shoot bottom right and gets a goal. Oh my. Well, we have to see that again on Icy's POV. So let's rewind a little bit here and see, could he have gotten back any more quickly here? Maybe just. There's a slight bit of oversteer on that turn. He did not go straight back towards the bottom corner of his goal. Obviously not expecting the shot from khaledD, more likely the dribble. But khaledD did hit that one extremely quickly. And 7-0. I mean, credit to Icy for sticking in here. Trying to get some practice, it would seem. Does he believe in the comeback? Maybe he watched the Rob versus Growly game and he's thinking to himself, I could do that. If Rob can do it, why not me? Let's see if we can make the 7-goal comeback happen. Is this the start of it? Icy plays for the boost instead of the shot because his second touch there wasn't quite what he wanted. In fact, it's going to cause him to lose possession. And another early challenge by Icy. These are necessary early challenges just to keep the pressure on khaledD. But khaledD is not really falling for any of this. That is a nice aerial demo. 8-0. And yeah, that's just GG. The early leave, I mean, this game still took a good while because these goals must have been adding up in terms of replays, although I'm sure they skipped most of them, as most high-level players do. But yeah, that is what ranked looks like, guys. These are all extremely recent replays from khaledD in 1s, 2s, and 3s. as he's on the grind to getting rank 1 in every playlist. Now, one of the things that you do have to be good at when you're grinding for such high ranks is just staying warm between games, because the queue times can be ridiculous. I mean, oKhaliD, I'm sure he's queuing up just everything at the same time. He'll take any lobby he can, because when you're this high rated, you have to wait a long time, especially at the non-peak hours that I know he can sometimes be playing with, as a KSA time zone is a little bit different than EU. It's I think 3 hours or 2 hours out from Central Europe. I'm not sure what it is exactly at this time of the year. But yeah, if they're up early in the morning, for them, nobody in Europe's going to be awake. They, you know, like we saw from oKhaliD, got to queue NA, catch the American server before they all go to sleep. But really interesting games. We see just the same kind of oKhaliD gameplay working out in 2s and 3s as it does in 1v1. Strong 50-50s, strong possession play, fast recoveries, and just very consistent mechanical ability. Just that is what it's all about, and that is how you get high rated. You don't get high rated by popping off every now and then flopping every now and then. You need to be as consistent as possible. You got to have the absolutely consistent mentality as well, because you're gonna take L's, you're gonna take losses, you're gonna get scored on, you're going to end up in positions where you lose some rank points, and you got to just go next. You got to just get right back into that grind, right back into that queue, and hopefully win 3 or 4 games in a row, or else you're not going to get your points back. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this. I thought it would be interesting to take a look at some oKhaliD gameplay from all of the leaderboards, not just ones. We mostly look at his 1v1 gameplay, but he's a real fun player to watch in every game mode, and getting early forfeits in every one of these games, getting the rank up as efficiently as possible. But yeah, that's it for now, guys. I've actually got another set of replays that I want to cast soon for you, that should be pretty interesting. More oKhaliD and Ahmad replays. So looking forward to that. But yeah, for now, hopefully you guys enjoyed that, and I'll catch you in the next one.